Very, very few people reach that position because man is too entangled with the physical ownership. What's the next question?
Let Salamia go ahead next.
Yes, I am here. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Hello, all my friends, knowledge seekers. First of all, I want to share with you that I don't believe in evil because we have only light and the absence of light. And light is Mitra. Light is love, and light is God, creator. I agree with Mr. Keshe that when you wish something, universe, the creator, answer to you. I was looking for knowledge like Mr. Keshe very kindly and generously offer us, and just came to me. My wish was to apply conflict-free conflict resolution to solve the conflict in between Israelis and Palestinians. And God sent me, and universe sent me Mr. Keshe, which is the best model on doing this on this earth. And I would like to help him and all knowledge seekers to achieve peace on this planet. And my question is related with this question. We know that soul of Mitra came on this earth. And I hope from the bottom of my heart that the soul of humanity will be elevated as soon as possible. Question is, what we can do, knowledge seekers, all knowledge seekers, to try to speed this process, taking into account this context of conflicting interest and even war nowadays.
I don't understand.
So I think we can do in at the soul level, but we have to do also in the physical level. This is my question. What we can do in the physical level together in the plasma level, at the soul level, I mean, to speed this process of elevation of humanity, of the elevation of the soul of humanity, because we need very, very badly this. Right now, we can't wait so long. Maybe we'll not be in life, you and me and other knowledge seekers, and you know what I mean. Maybe you understood what I want to say. You already said during your exposal, but maybe we need all the knowledge seekers to do something in the physical life to create peace on this earth, not only by our examples, to be model of creating peace among us and within ourselves.
You see,
what to do?
Yeah. What I said to the knowledge seekers in the very recent past is that the Keshe Foundation up to now set the groundwork. We built the foundation, not the Keshe Foundation, but the foundation for a new science and technology. And with millions of people around listening or being or tried, or they have been and they moved away, but still keep in touch and come around, we have built a foundation for the knowledge. And we have been on a position of spreading the knowledge through different ways, teachings, internet, and everything else. And now the time has come to switch. That instead of being in the position that the government can shut down your websites and pressurize you and whatever, intimidate you, now we move in a position of power, of sharing knowledge through technology. This is why when I said over a year ago, that I'm leaving the foundation work to the two ladies and the team they have created around them, is to concentrate on this side, to bring the Keshe Foundation in an international level, in the openness that no government can shut down. And in that process, through the knowledge and share of knowledge, with the support of the foundation we have set up amongst the knowledge seekers, we become a force to bring the change. And through it, to teach, to elevate a lot. A lot of people will come with the foundation, will start learning the Ganses, how to make nano coating and the rest. But the intellect of those who is above that will jump into the understanding of the elevation of the soul and how to interact with the fields of the universe to create that condition. In a way, there's enough food for everyone to develop their ways and according to their understanding. And this is what this is about. This is why I said a year ago, or I'm leaving the foundation in a way in the hand of the people, but to bring the foundation in an international level across the planet. This is one of the reasons I'm returning to Iran. Because as I said to the knowledge seekers, I've set up everything for you. You have your television, you have the structures, you have the factories, you have everything which a vertical operation needs to have. Now it needs to be brought out. We build it. Now it's time to open the door to let everybody in. It would not be done by the present world leaders. It has to come through the new science and technology and a change in that position. And we have taken the challenges, huge challenges up in Iran, because we have to set by the example. And then in that process, once we can show the massive changes in next 12 months and even sooner in Iran, then the others will follow. We set by example. And there is enough your knowledge seekers that every Thursday or every week we teach. When we explain this to you, you can deliver it. Your knowledge seekers become the center of the knowledge for the governments, your own nationals, your own structure to come to learn from. In a way, we have embedded you knowledge seekers as the seed teachers to your own culture. I've done this very cleverly. In a way, if you look at it, Jalal, you have Arman, you have other people around the world, knowledge seekers, your addicts, that once we open up, you become the center of teaching. Your nationals, they need to understand, and you understand the language of both the science and then your national language that you can translate and transfer. So in next few weeks, when we take a new position, that's what it's for. To bring, but this time on the umbrella of a nation for the time being, and then on the nation of humanity, on the banner of the humanity. The whole structure, if you've seen in past few months, we were bombarded with all the negativity and everything which is wrong with everything we've done, because they realized we are about to break through, and they worked all their lifetime to stop this. The barrage of everything seen wrong with whatever I said, whatever we thought, but we are growing in numbers in a massive way, was to stop this change, because they were the agents of these nations sleeping in the same bed. And now they've gone back to their own nation because they couldn't destroy anymore. because they work for stopping humanity to progress as the agents of the devil is finished, as you call it, the gens. Now, my move into Iran is to bring the Keshe Foundation rapidly in one go into the international level, which now we work through governments to bring a new change for humanity. The biggest gain for the Keshe Foundation and the wishes of the knowledge seekers to create peace, to create the breakthrough, the knowledge will come with me going back to Iran in a position which we have accepted to elevate the knowledge of the Iran and through example throughout the world. And we have sown the seed of knowledge amongst all of you. Those knowledge seekers who've been around and you've been in different teachings and you've been around, you learn, you become the center point of teaching, conversing the knowledge you have to your, what you call, mother language people. Does not matter if you're an Arab in South America or in Palestine or in China. You speak Arabic, and Jalal with a beautiful language of Arabic can explain to you, and then converse it and change it, and then you understand it through the soul of the knowledge. When people like Wang Lin and Chao in China will translate this knowledge to the Chinese language, that they carry the love and knowledge of the essence to their people. We are on the verge of a huge change. And in a way, we had time to grow. We had time to understand. And now, in the next few weeks, moving around the world, we try to bring the structures which man has said, to bring the position to start the process in Iran. We are not there to start a revolution. We are there to start the evolution and evolving man to a new knowledge. And with it to show, with it to bring it, the showing of the hospital, what we call orphanage, in next 2 weeks, we'll show you, bring you home what this knowledge can do. And why mothers and fathers abandon children that they cannot physically handle because they are not there what they wanted. Every soul of the Creator is a love of Creator, not in a dimension of physicality. We abandon our children who are handicapped, and we abandon our old men and women on the streets and in old people's home, the same. We abuse man during his maturity time. This has to stop. We cannot, by age of 65, put man in a bin and you have no job, and then expect 7 years later to die. This has to finish. And this is what we're going to Iran for, to bring that change from the soul and the birthplace of Mitra. Where is the love of the Creator? And this process will change. We cannot hate no one. Is how much love they want to take from the love we give. It's them who put a barrier and a measure on the love, not us. They decide to put a line, this is how much I want to take, and then the rest I fight. Or I try to get. There is no line and limitation on the love of the Creator. So we give the knowledge. And on my return to Iran, this will take shape, where we give to the nations, we give to the individuals, and we open mankind into space. That there's a bigger dimension beyond, and there's a different life beyond. The most glorious time for me as a founder of the foundation is when we can see there is no lines on this planet, imaginary. But we come to the rest. This is where I live, in that part of the world which is called India. But I'm not a nation. And then I live in the city of Delhi. or I live in the city of Tehran, and this is my home address, and this is the piece of land my body and my soul would like to stay in with your code and address. Once we reach that point, we reach the point of maturity, because next time when you're in the universe, you cannot send the letter Earth, India, blah, blah. You can only communicate with the soul of the man. And that is instantaneous. And this is the purpose of what is to come. What is to be. And we have to be aware of those who now, we will see a lot of it in the next few weeks, try to create a mayhem because they don't want to see the change. They know it's coming and they have no control. So let's discredit, let's destroy, let's do. We saw the Americans bringing the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in Brazil yesterday down. Why? In the Portuguese language. Because they know now we are on the verge of coming up and sharing the knowledge and the peace. And this is not what they are there for. We saw the amount of bombardment across 3,000 entry in 9 months across the internet. And one of them, that's what I tell you, I was in Rome last Friday. You saw what was written on it. Oh, he's a crook, he's got 10 years to go to prison, they are waiting to arrest. We welcome with open arm by the Italian officials. They create so much negativity that you believe them, because lying and cheating is part of their life. We are welcome with open arm by all the nations as knowledge seekers, because we bring prosperity, peace, and development. And this is where we stand, all of us. And I always say, I'm a knowledge seeker as much as you are. So try to understand, the change is about to come. Somebody's microphone is open. The change is about to come in a very big way. The biggest fear of the state of Israel is my return to Tehran. The biggest fear of the Americans and the British is for my return to Tehran to bring the beauty of the knowledge out of the land of Mitra. But I cannot be touched. I told the Israelis, you touch me, there will be nothing left of blood of Moses. And the Israeli rabbis know, and the Israeli government knows. The same with the others. We are messengers of peace and knowledge. You touch us, we know how to shower you with the love, that you drown in it yourself. We don't take revenge, we give you so much. You hung me on the cross, and I was still walking. You try again. Next question.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let's work on a couple of questions in the Q&A. One from Antonio, who asks, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Does the soul of Mithra ensoul our planet?
What?
Does the soul of Mithra put the soul into our planet, or instill the soul into the planet? I think is what he's asking.
I think you better go to some of the teaching in the past about Mitra. You heard about the Adam and Eve, and you heard about the apple. Now, with all the teachings we've done, and I've explained before, try to understand. The apple is the love, which has poisoned the cycle of the creation, that you give everything for it, even your life. And man never understood the meaning of the apple which Eve gave to Adam, to the Creator. She showed him love and what it means to be loved. Nothing else. that poison brought the Creator to madness, to understand what is. But the love and understanding of the love came from the creatures like man in loving a woman. So he created the Eve for him to be loved the way man loved the woman, and then woman loved the man, to feel the physicality of love. And that apple is love and nothing else. And this is why in mysticism they twist it and they turn it. But the beauty of it is Mitra chose the earth as a beautiful planet, as a beautiful place to live, and brought the Creator to it to show the beauty of it and how men as a race fall in love. And that's what captured the Creator to the earth. And when you speak about the greatest sin, which when we say Adam took the apple from Eve, that was a touch of love, the beauty of it. And he killed him with it. He gives his life for that love, which Eve, what we call Mitra, has shown through the creation of the beauty of the land of Iran as the most beautiful place at the time of its creation. So when you speak about the apple, it's nothing but love, which the Creator took a bite of, and he killed him with it. It's poisoned with mad in his head and his blood and his body and existence. Any other question?
The question in YouTube that's come up from Ezra, who says, peace be upon you, Brother Kesh. Could you enlighten us further on the merits and meanings of the night of power, the 27th night of Ramadan, in light of plasma science? Does our galaxy meet its twin?
It's the process of understanding a medication. You got to understand that all the Muslims, in the true essence, are supposed to spend this month in understanding the essence of the creation and the Creator, which brings them to understand the love of the Creator. And then it's translated into mysticism and a lot of other things. When you gather a few people and they put their wishes together to do something, build something, and because it's for the best of it, they achieve it. Now you put 1 billion people who, if they are true believers and work and worship in that month of Ramadan, to truly live by what Muhammad bless his name said, yes, man truly becomes angel. But then it has to become that point for man to grow. And in a way, if the true Muslims wish the true peace at the time, but what they call 27 days, in a way, 7 billion can be changed. But the biggest problem is most of the Muslims in the time of Ramadan, they're thinking about the food, and some of those Western ones is the only time they don't drink alcohol, as we've seen many in the Western world, and everything else. And the minute I have to stop, when it's going to be the food and the rest of it, fasting has lost its essence of work. Any other question?
Thank you. Let's hear from SZ here in the Zoom. Or is it SZ?
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Go ahead.
Sorry. I meant to say something about Jen. What Azar said is not correct. She confused Satan with
Excuse
Jen.
me, can you explain who you are, where you are from, please?
My name is Shahram.
From Australia.
Yes, I've spoken
Yeah,
with
I
you.
know who you are. Yes,
Yeah.
now we know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah. Okay. What she mentioned, she confused Jen with Satan. Satan in Farsi we call it Shaitan. That is the entity that basically the angel that refused to bow to human beings.
We read from the Wikipedia to make it very clear. Yes.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say something. It is a spiritual entities, and it can be bad or good. It's not necessarily bad. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yes, it says the same thing in the Wikipedia when you read it. It depends, as I always say, it's bad for who and good for who. You understand?
Yes, I said it can be good or it can be bad. Meaning, it can just like other human beings, have the potential to be bad or good. That's all I want.
Yeah, well, that's, yes, I understand, but it depends. Bad for what and good for who? You understand? What is the
they're doing bad things
for me could be a good thing for somebody else.
Yes. If you want to look from that vantage point, yes. From different vantage points could be good. But what I meant was like what Satan is doing from point of view of a human being is not good, because it seduces human being to do bad things, to kill, to destroy, to do all kinds of bad stuff that we consider bad as human beings. Gens are the same thing. They can be doing that, and also they can be doing the opposite. My knowledge of Jinn is very limited, but I wanted to just share that with you. They're spiritual entities.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's see, we've got Stephania and Kay and Jefferson still with hands up here. And let's try another one from the Q&A. From Antonio. Mr. Kesh, thank you for what you've done for the handicapped children. My question will be, is the GANs beneficial for those who have dementia as well? Looking at the other end of the spectrum, maybe for rest homes and care homes, perhaps. Would there be any plans for a test in that realm, perhaps? Not hearing you, Mr. Kesh. I'm not sure if you're trying to answer or just waiting.
Something happened.
Hi, Mr. Kesh. I see your microphone is open here, but we don't hear any sound coming from you. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Still can't hear you. Maybe you'll need to restart the Zoom. Okay, well, bear with us a minute here while we get Mr. Kesh back online. See, that's what happens when we talk about Jinn too much.
Yeah.
They are, what are they called? Devious little devils.
You're right.
Well, can read a comment from God's Eye View in YouTube, who says, I am surprised Mr. Keshe does not claim to know about the jinn. I, for the longest, thought that Mr. Keshe was a jinn. Go figure. Well, maybe that's what happened.
Interesting. What kind of stuff is that?
Well, I'm not sure what's going on. Usually we're able to reconnect quicker here, so it must be he's out of bandwidth or out of range, perhaps. We're not sure what part of the universe he's at.
Wow.
This particular time and space. He has a busy itinerary in the next month or so, I understand. Okay, well, I'm going to, while we wait for Mr. Keshe, while we patiently wait for Mr. Keshe, I'll read a few things from the chat, perhaps. Let me see, we have a paragraph from Jedi Simon about ownership. Ownership is the problem, he says. Possession and property is in fact a selfish desire which follows ignorance. Without desires, jinn would be useless from a material point of view. So you created the thought forms to reach those goods. So you pay the ticket. Instrumental path enslaves. You shall find in contracts and pacts the seeds of property, but in reality you are part of the field, not the owner of the field. So you are, the fear that your ignorant position allows you to coagulate within yourself. Open up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we hear you, Mr. Keshe. Yes.
Yes, sorry, you get on them secure channels and sometimes they play games.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Carry on, please.
Oh,
No, it's just that when the system goes up, you cannot do anything until it comes back on plan again. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me.
Yes, I'm starting to read the chat here in order to fill in time, so we're all good. Okay.
You're well trained after 8 years, you know how to play caps.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of dead air time except when we specifically ask for it. We had someone ask for 9 minutes of silence in the plasma group, which we tried. So
Did they work 9 minutes?
we went 9 minutes of silence to connect with each other without speaking and doing it in silence. And it's an experiment. Okay, we have what? Esed, are you done with your question
Oh,
or
yes.
comment? All right.
Oh, yes, of course I'm done. Yes.
Very
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stefania, if you'd like to go next, that would be good.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. I would like to make a question. It's come from me, from Italian knowledge seekers. And the question is this. You always said that people who have fear of the problematic of today, for example, vaccination or viruses, is because they don't know the power of the plasma. And the same, I think, what you said with the genes now. So in reality, the power of the plasma, it's that we can, our wish is our command, so we can materialize everything we believe. So if I understood well, because at the moment, there is a lot of fear around. This is what I found when I turn the TV and when I turn the mass media, even from the both sides, for who try with their goods to make goods without making aware people of what's happening, they can create fear. I make an example, no? So some people, some doctor, they're standing up for the truth, and they say let
me stop you.
Yeah,
We are not
sorry,
going
yeah.
in there with the
Yeah,
way
okay, I
things
don't
stand.
go there. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't go
in
there.
a way the things stand, we don't give a what we call YouTube the others
You're right.
for us to make a comment position.
I make it in a different way. So, but my point was, so we can. So there is nothing to have a fear, basically, because we have a plasma inside us, and if we understand the law of the universe, there is nothing to have a fear. So this is my point. So if a bad doesn't exist, and we created, so there is nothing that can harm us unless we allow to. So this was my point. Is it correct to think like
maybe that's the way? We have to accept we make the link to what we want. And then the path is set the way we want to think, and we set it up.
So if I believe, if my belief, it's that there is, I'm made of plasma, and there is plasma inside me, and the plasma is a part of the creator of the source, of this energy source, and the energy source is the strongest source of the universe, and because it's the strongest, the source, no one can damage the source or create problem to the source. So there is no problem. So if I connect to this source and I connect only to the goods, there is no problem. The problem disappears itself.
What if you have the plasma of a bus bearing down on you? Do you just stand there with no fear?
Sorry?
The plasma of a bus coming at you, do you stand there and not move? Because it's all one thing, it's all one plasma, it all comes from the source, no problem there?
Because it's very simple. It's very simple because I trust that I'm a part of the bigger picture. So I trust that the creators. I'm part of the creators. So I know that nothing will happen to me. So even this plasma of this bus, for example, landing on me, it will be part of something that I've created. So it means that I have no fear. Something that's supposed to happen, and I'm just gonna go into something else. I don't know. It's because if I believe that. Sorry, I hear a voice. I don't know.
It's it sounds like a background recording.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, even the bus, the plasma of the bus will be not a problem for me if I consider there is not a problem.
So you wouldn't move?
Shall we send the asteroid?
Will be no problem with the asteroid.
You can handle a bus. Super Mojang. Super Mojang woman.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, perhaps we can hear from Kay next.
Hello, hi, can we hear me?
Loud and clear.
God bless. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, for this touching, beautiful teaching. As always, never stop mesmerizing with all this deep knowledge. I'm just wishing that we all catch up with it and get elevated as soon as possible. I've had a question for the soul child, but also before that, don't want to sound obsessed, but the thing about the gen that we were talking about, I've actually seen a photo in our house back home. We used to have a lot of gen, and one of my nephew, in particular, when he was 4 years, just 4 years, he's actually taken photo of it, and the gens are practically transparent. If anybody has seen the movie, I think it was called The Abyss, how the water
what about the
shape.
Ghostbusters?
No, not like that. It actually appears exactly like the structure that you used to see in the movie Abyss, how the water used to take shape, and you could see through the water, but yet you could see the shape of a particular creature that the abyss was creating. You could see it because the water is transparent, and the gen is absolutely transparent, but you can see the outline of the body of the gen. They go through everything, and he was always, and I think 2019 was the last time we went in Iran, because last year it was lockdown. We always go to Iran every summer. He still used to see them, and he actually plays with them in his room. He creates a particular fence inside his room where the gen comes there all the time, and he plays with them, the children gen. And one instant when he was 4 years, I think it was 2015, he's taken 13, 14 photos of this gen when he was downstairs playing in the basement. The gen, when he went upstairs, the gen, or ran upstairs, the gen followed him, crawling up the staircase, and he was taking photo from his iPad. And then somehow, when he informed his family, well, they were in our house actually, when he informed the family, actually, this is so emotional. My whole family were there in my mom's house. Then he said, I've seen Jen is following me and all that. And then Jen told him to wipe up those photos. The mother managed to get the last 2 photos off of his hand, so he didn't wipe it. In any case, I've managed to find this photo, and you can actually see the Jinn, the way it's crawling, and it has taken the shape of the marble of the stairs, which is coming from the basement to the ground floor. And you can see just before the last stairs, you can see the shape of the Jinn, the outline body, physicality of the Jinn, which has got more or less the color of the marble of the stone. I don't know how to share my camera. If Rick could be kind enough to tell me how to share my camera, I can show you one of the photos, and people can see actually Jinn exists.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're talking about the fields. You put a name of Jen on it. Does it do wrong?
No.
So he's a Parry. He can't be Jen. You know, we have a Jen and Parry.
Yes, we do.
Which is
Jen
yeah,
is
so
enough.
how do you know? How do you know is a Jen? This is what we call a gooder and a badder. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Yes,
So,
you're right.
yeah.
Actually, the Jen is the one which my sister, who's a doctor, she has experienced it. But never mind about that. This is a Parry, as you say. They contact children, and certain children can always see this. Now that you refer to as a Parry, certain children.
Yeah, I remember these things from childhood because we were brought up with it.
Yeah, in south of Iran is actually very, very heavily infested by Jinn, and they live coexisting with humanity, and a lot of humans don't even know they exist, and they do about their job, and humans get on with their life. But certain kids and certain children, which are even older, up until 15, 16 years, they still can see their eye frequency somehow catches it.
Can we go to something else? Yeah.
No, yes. I just wanted to say that such a thing exists, and there's evidence, photographic evidence. Anyhow, my question was, God bless, thank you. The child soul that you referred to earlier, I don't know, you might have explained it already, but I was taking my boy to school, so I might have missed a bit of it. Would we, as a mother and father, have to elevate our soul and learn in order to do that? Or is this going to happen by default through the love of Mitra, which is elevating the human soul as a whole? So would this happen naturally?
But up to now, man has created the children of physicality.
Yes.
From now on, man has the capability to create children of soul. It's a dimension of understanding, but in a way is the shape, or what I say, not the shape, but is the way mankind has chosen to create offsprings. We cannot go somewhere and say this is how it's going to be done from now on. You don't do this and that'll be. We have opened this option to create a perfect physicality by creating the soul first, collectively, and then there's physicality to be created out of. The whole process is when you make a bouquet. I explained this in detail to knowledge seekers before. When you have one flower in your hand, you just see one beauty. When you create a bouquet, you pick up from the best of the different flowers, or the best of one flower, but collectively. Then you have collection of all possibilities, the best of. You don't pick up a dead flower and a dead leaf and a dead branch to put in. You choose the best. And this is the job of the soul of the father and the mother, to do that in the level of the soul, to attain the best fields which the universe creates at the strength of their soul, to put together in a way of a collective field that matches with the other, that leads to the creation of that child. The two bouquets in the essence of the field. Now man has no choice. You create children out of the randomness of any physicality. Now you have a choice through the understanding, the work of the soul, to choose the best that fits the life of this position and the universe. Because you understand both. You don't need egg and sperm. You need understanding the essence of the soul to create in that womb of the mother. The children of the future will be very much different than what we see from now on. The children of the soul in the dimension of physicality, they shine. And we need to set one that it triggers the other. In a way, we need to have an example to be. And that process to be understood, and mankind will follow the same process. In a way, the knowledge is the example. So when you create the children of the soul, you created up to now children of physicality, which engage the soul that the soul could not. Now you create the children of the soul that they can create the condition of physicality anywhere in the universe. And that's a change. And you take the best from the universe, the best from the fields of the Creator, not the randomness of the DNA and RNA. Then, in a way, the soul can take the RNA of any position in respect to the inertia field position. We have changed the position. This way, man, the fear of death, fear of mortality will go away unless he decides to put his soul into totality of. There is no more randomness of when it is going to finish. I wait And one day the bell rings and that's it, the heart stops and the lung doesn't work. In a way, man can move in different dimensions. This is how you become passengers of the universe. You choose in 1 million years, what do you call it, 1 million light years away, there is a star. You can make it 1 second travel the same dimension in the fields of the universe. This is what mankind needs to learn to change. He might learn it by tomorrow, it might take 1,000 years for man to mature to understand it. But we have laid the law. We have laid and we released the knowledge that's now the soul reaches that point of knowledge. In a way, it's not that you do not know. Now we have opened the door to the level of what we call the cupboard of the man to see the light. And any man and a woman can do the same from now on. But you have to understand how, and you have to understand it takes years to collect these souls. It's not just bang, bang, and that's it, as the man does in the physical life. The children of the soul of the man are perfect. Secondly, they don't need to go through this passage of birth tunnel, which creates from the first second of introducing the life to the outside world, but pain and suffering and the pressures and everything else, and a lot of handicap conditions we see. One of the most beautiful things which I hope to achieve, because I've done this before in Tehran with this group of children, is to see how by elevating the soul, we'll see the physicality changes, the handicaps disappear. We had a child he was brought to me around February, 11 years old, 11 years old. The uncle helped the Keshe Foundation a lot with the computers. And the boy was mentally handicapped. In a way, retarded, as they call it. I knew what I can do with a child. I said to the mother and the father, prepare for him to go to a normal school. He was going to a handicap school. He was on a wheelchair as well. I said, prepare for him to go to school in September. They were shocked. They were surprised. I said, this child, what I see, I can do. And in July, in the handicap school he was going to, he had to sit for an exam that he can actually go to the proper school in September. And he passed the exam. And in September, he went to a normal school. He wasn't handicapped anymore. And it was an enormous amount of knowledge he carried. And I received a message from the mother a few months later that Mr. Keshe, he goes swimming on his own every day, walks from home to the swimming pool, and he started living like a gorgeous boy. I've done this a few times, and I know the power of the knowledge. And we have done this many times, even with the children who have been 14, 15, and never spoke, never did anything. And one day he asked his father, can you take me with a bicycle, with your motorcycle, to the mountains? And they could not believe that he could talk after 14 years. It took me less than 2 months. The beauty of this knowledge is not having the knowledge, is how to apply the knowledge. And we both know the knowledge and we know how to apply it. But it has to be in the essence of the receiver to receive it. If you speak to the gentleman who used to help a lot in Belgium with us, a beautiful man. In one of the Fridays meeting, a young girl, I've said this before, came in her early 20s, blind. And I said to her, I can make you see. Come back next week. I made a system and I just asked her, you have not seen anything. Do you want to go into darker space that the light, rapid light doesn't bother you? And we went with her and the gentleman, and I just placed the system, which was in the palm of my hand, on the back of her head. She said, I can see. I said, what do you want me to do? It's your decision. Do you want me to give your sight back? She said, I want to think about it. I said, I'm giving your vision back. You can see. After a few days, she came back in the next following Friday meeting. And she said, Mr. Keshe, I want to stay blind. I said, I knew, but I had to give you the choice. But I said, can you explain to us why you have taken the decision this way? I know the answer, but I want to hear. She said, I was never loved by my father. Since I became blind, my father gave me a lot of attention. And that's what I was missing. And I prefer to stay blind to have the love of the Father. I said, the decision is yours. But I showed you, I can make you see. And she said, I could see clearly. We have the knowledge. We give the knowledge. But how you interpret it, how you apply it, when you change the knowledge to a technology. This is what is important. And if the soul which you want to change accepts the change, we have in the archives of the Keshe Foundation a woman with no brain. They took the whole of brain off. It's just the soul was left. If it would have gone a few millimeters out, the soul would have gone, should have been dead. A flat head, totally flat. When she came to me, she said, I want to walk again. She was brought in a wheelchair. And in less than a month, I made her to walk. And it's all recorded. And this was a criminal offense in the eye of the criminal nation of Belgium. Making a woman who was in a wheelchair to walk again. In less than a month, with nurses and the people who were looking after her. I remember when I said to her, did you enjoy the walk? She said, did I walk? I showed her the video. She said, I can't remember walking, but she could see herself walking. My knowledge is unlimited. As I said, the officials in Tehran asked if you can bring one person coma out. We want to see. I said, give me 3 on the live television and I'll bring them back for you. Because we know the knowledge. We are not magicians. We know the structure. And now the cycle has moved to the next one. In moving up to now, we dealt with the physicality, now we deal with the soul. We deal with the creator, not the created. And this will take a lot of understanding. And this is what I said all the time. We will not do magic. The time of raising the dead and doing this and that to create belief is gone. Now we teach the knowledge that you can do the same if you understand the knowledge. And once you cross the line and abuse the knowledge, you lose the capability and the power. As long as you serve, you gain. And the minute you abuse, you lose. And that's what I call the hell, losing the knowledge of the Creator. And the children of the future, if man learns through the process of, instead of the physicality, through the process of the soul, these children will create a heaven out of planet Earth. Because they will only enjoy its beauty and only add to its beauty. As they don't need anything to live for, in a way they have everything they wish they can create because they have access to the knowledge of the creation. This is where the change in technology comes, change in understanding of the knowledge and sciences. And as I said, I have 100 cases to change in Tehran and show that there is no physical condition. There are those who are totally deformities we cannot do, but we make them to live a perfect life. Doesn't mean we're going to change the twists and turns. If they wish, they do. But you will see, the reports in Tehran will come very soon. You will see it. I just received a message from Tehran. They're going there to go to the next step after 1 year to increase the rapid development. And most probably you'll hear in the recording from the officials next couple of weeks that, as we said before, they found the pride, they found their integrity, body has moved in the position of functioning. And the only way they could say it, because the number of the Pampers used has reduced by a huge percentage. When a man finds his integrity, when he finds functionality, he can control himself. And the children have started doing that, and it's unusual for this center. They hardly ever had children who have moved out of Pampers, and are there from time of birth to maturity of 18 to go to the next institution. One could be coincident, 100 is not. And as I said to the Iranians officials, to the representative of Ahmadinejad Saeed Khamenei of Iran, give me 3 dead bodies in coma. I'll give you 3-person back. But I don't do magic. I teach your doctors to do it. And you watch. And my condition was that every day, half an hour, Iran national television will show the progress. That to show the extent of the knowledge which Iran has achieved. Resurrection. Try to understand the technology, but first try to understand the science that you can convert it to the technology. Then you create children of the soul, and you devote your life for centuries to bring them up, not decades. Child of the man matures in 9 years or 18 years. The children of the soul never mature because the knowledge of the Creator has no ends, and the responsibility of the parents, the Creator of them, to teach them the knowledge of the Creator as they were taught them.
Mr. Keshe, Doug had a question about the soul child. Does the soul child in the universe ever fly from the nest or fledge and live independently, but still have that still have the eternal connection with the fields to its creator or parents?
Yes, of course. You know, it's become like the European children nowadays. is so expensive that they are mature with the children, they still live at the mom's house. But with the soul children, they live because of the love they have and what they receive as a love, which is the knowledge and the beauty of the created. Shall we call it a day?
Well, you've had a good workout, that's for sure.
I think it was a marathon today. we run from the creator to the created and see how many of us will be able to catch up. Thank you very much for today. It's, as I said, we are hoping to teach more in depth to understand, and for the knowledge seekers to understand the knowledge, not the technology. And you're entangled in the dimension of physicality. Thank you very much for being here, and hopefully we'll see each other next week. And we add to knowledge a little bit more, and we learn from each other a little bit more. Thank you very much for today. Thank you very much, Rick, and the team in the background.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Keshe, for another Knowledge Seekers workshop here. Lovely one it was. And I'll remind people we have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up on Tuesday, May 18th of next week at that one's at 4 p.m. Central European Time, and people are welcome to